Hi everyone, Thao here. So it's been a couple months of me using the Google Pixel 8. This is the smaller one, not the Pro version, which I actually reviewed right after Google released both in October. Obviously, the devices are very similar, and you'd expect the experience to be very similar, right? But you know what? That hasn't been the case for me. Let's start with the good. It's no secret that I prefer smaller phones, and the size of the Pixel 8 is very close to being the perfect fit for me. It's just more comfortable to hold with one hand and doesn't take up too much space in my pockets or bags. Ultimately, I do still prefer the portability of a flip phone from Samsung, but if you're not sold on the durability of foldables yet, then the Pixel 8 is great for those of us with, smallish hands. One thing I appreciate day in and day out is the display quality. This has to be one of the best screens on the market. I appreciate that it's a flat screen. It just makes finding a good quality screen protector that much easier. I will say, avoid the Spigen ones. I love Spigen and all, and would normally recommend their stuff to anyone, but this one is a miss. It has black borders that literally cut into the screen, covering pixels all around. Now, the brightness of the display is what stands out, especially under direct sunlight. It doesn't get quite as bright as the Pro version, but 2000 nits is still ridiculous on a phone. That high peak brightness is also handy for looking at HDR content like the Ultra HDR photos that you can actually capture with a phone. The brighter highlights and darker shadows look really good on the screen. It just gives photos that extra bit of oomph, People definitely notice when I show them pictures on here. I get comments all the time. But it does suck that when I do share an HDR photo with friends or family, they don't usually get to see the HDR version and instead see a flatter version of the pic. I don't need to go too long about how great the photography is on the Pixel 8. 9 out of 10 times, I'm more than happy with the photos that come out of this. Compared to the Pro model, you don't get the 5x telephoto lens, which I do miss occasionally. Google's video boost feature that sends footage to their servers to get enhanced. Yeah, the regular Pixel 8 doesn't get that feature, which is kind of lame. There's also no pro controls when taking pictures. You just get the typical brightness, shadow, and white balance sliders, which, to be honest, is gonna be fine for most people. I'm a point and shoot type of person, so not having the pro controls isn't something I care too much about. There's no reason why it shouldn't be on here, but Google's gotta make the pro stand out somehow, right? My first real negative about this phone is the selfie camera. I wasn't really a big fan of it on the Pro, and after taking a lot of selfies on the regular Pixel 8, I'm not really feeling it. First of all, it's really inconsistent. Sometimes the processing is okay, but a lot of the time it's just not that great. It makes everyone in selfies look super pale and almost gloomy. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't usually want my selfies to look depressing. Now, on a brighter note, the face unlock using just that same selfie camera has been one of the most pleasant surprises. You normally need an extra sensor, but it's apparently secure enough for banking apps and password managers. One thing I really appreciate with the face unlock is that tapping the scanner acts as a confirm button, since my thumb naturally wants to go there anyways. Now, if they could just replace the optical scanner with the ultrasonic one that Samsung features on their high-end phones, then this will probably be as good as it gets for me. Video quality on the Pixel 8 has been really solid. If you watch a lot of tech YouTube, you'll know that many consider the iPhone to be the gold standard for video recording. I'll put it this way, if I'm taking a picture, I'll typically reach for the Pixel 8. If I'm shooting a video, any iPhone from the past few years would be my first choice. That's not to say the Pixel shoots bad videos, far from it. The iPhone is just slightly better to my eyes. This shares the exact same Tensor G3 processor found in the Pro model, despite being a cheaper phone. That's pretty awesome. Because of that, I think I'm a little more forgiving about some of the quirks I've run into. First of all, there have been times when I would open the camera and it would just hang in there for like 2 to 3 seconds before I can do anything. Never had that issue with the Pro model. This does have less RAM, so that might be why, but who really knows, right? The big one for me is that the signal can be a little suspect at times. For example, if I'm sitting in my car in the garage, the phone will say, I have no signal. Or I'll be driving and my location on Google Maps will randomly jump around, or it'll think I'm going in the complete opposite direction. Not total deal breakers, but not exactly something you want to deal with. Google talked a lot about the Tensor chip enabling all the AI features in this phone. Google is definitely leading the way when it comes to that kind of stuff. No one is arguing with that. The only thing is, the processing time for some of these features can take a long time. It makes you wonder if a faster processor like the latest Snapdragon that you'd find in other Android flagships would speed things up a bit. But then again, that would probably mean a higher price tag, so maybe Google made the right decision. Now, battery life for the Pixel 8 is what I describe as average to slightly below average. It's a little underwhelming, to be honest. Over the holidays, I was getting around 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time between charges. If I'm on mainly mobile data, the phone definitely needs to be topped off at least once for me to make it through the day. And on top of that, it charges pretty slowly too. It takes about an hour and a half plugged in or over 3 hours on a wireless charger. Google shocked us all when they announced that they'd be supporting this phone for 7 years. I know most people keep their phones for 2 to 3 years, but with how slowly phones are innovating right now, holding onto our devices for longer just makes a lot of sense. But here's the thing. It's highly unlikely the phone's battery will last for 7 years. So I was curious how much Google would be charging for a battery replacement. I couldn't find anything officially from Google, but one spot here in Canada charges $159 to do it. It also looks like they've partnered with iFixit to provide parts, which is great for those of you who are handy enough and want to try replacing things yourself. You can get a new battery for $47 and a new screen looks like it costs around $170. Those prices will probably go down in a few years. So, hey, if you want to use this phone for 7 years, you have options for a battery replacement. Just nothing officially from Google right now. So I've seen a lot of people crown the Google Pixel 8 as their phone of the year in 2023. And you know what? I think it deserves the recognition, especially with the trendy AI features, 7 years of updates, and great cameras for the most part. I do have to knock a few points off due to the occasional signal issues and a selfie camera that I just don't enjoy using. Seriously, I think all the aggressive marketing and promotions is really paying off for Google because I've been seeing a lot of Pixels being used here in Toronto. So would I recommend this phone right now? You know what? I probably would. I do really like it, but here's the thing. The year just started, and if Google couldn't convince you to buy one during all their holiday sales, then it might be a good idea to wait and see what the upcoming phones have to offer before you spend your hard-earned money. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'm out of here. Bye!